Hey there, neighbors and naysayers. August 19th, I believe, 2024. I say I believe because it's county fair week here, and hell, I don't even know what day it is at this point. I know it's Friday, and I gotta get down and get the boys to get to the fair to clean up and feed and do all those things. So my fair week consists of being at the farm by 6 a.m., get everything done, get over to the fair so that the boys can enjoy the day at the fair. We showed Ethan's Hereford heifer out of this group yesterday, showed his pigs the day before. Good results, and Rachel showed Katahdin lambs there the night before that. So, you know, we got some really good comments about our commercial stuff. I mean, the judges, of course, don't know that they're all grass-fed and that they look the way that they do, but really good actual comments about what we're doing here, and without them knowing that they were all grass-fed animals. So that's kind of cool. The hogs, of course, I think Ethan hit 5th in each class, and there's been a type change in hogs here over the last year that I just really wasn't aware of. And you know, our hogs would have fit good in the type that they were a year or two ago, but they need to be a lot taller, or they can be a lot taller and framier and not as heavy muscled, because they need to be more structurally correct, which oddly is our mission. But we took two bears that were powerful and big and heavy muscled and big ribbed and not as structurally correct, because that's what kind of the type trend was, and we don't really follow the Barra shows, especially crossbreds, as much as we should. So it's just one of those things. We missed the target a little bit, and that's okay. I mean, it's fine. I don't care. And a lot of our kids, every one of the kids that bought hogs from us ended up with a ribbon of some sort, and that's basically all we're shooting for. I guess I clicked the video today, and I know I haven't shared videos in a long time. We're in, you know, severe drought. Everybody kind of knew that going into it, and there just wasn't much to video. I mean, this group's got about a week and a half, and we're supposed to get rain today, tomorrow, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. If we get that, hopefully maybe there'll be enough that they'll be okay. We can keep on grazing them. A lot of them look okay. Some of them look pretty crappy, but they would look that crappy if they were on hay. But we're getting through it. So this is a field they just got turned into. This was a field they was in 3, 4, 5 days ago, and they're growing. I mean, our heifer at the fair looks great for being on drought stress pasture, and you know, that's good, because she's the kind that's going to stay here and make calves for the future. I guess I clicked on the video today more to talk about cattle a little bit, having just gone through the cattle show. And you know, I don't put a whole lot of stock in cow shows at this point, and I really don't put a whole lot of stock in hog shows, to be honest. You know, we try to hit the target, but we know what we have to have at home is different than what we're going to have when we go to a show. And I honestly didn't get time to even sit up there and watch much. There was a red Angus heifer there that was pretty good. Woodwork in a grass-based kind of environment. Come from the beef expo, I was surprised. She was way too fat and way too overfed, and her longevity's kind of in question for me, being that fat already before she has a calf. But that's not my problem. It's not my calf. It's not my heifer. So, but I've been sitting around. A good friend of mine over there at the fair, his daughter raises feeder calves and steers, and she's been rather successful. I would call them successful for a small breeder. She won the feeder calf show yesterday, and had a steer that was second in class. Probably should have won the class, and if I'm not mistaken, she was second to the reserve champion, which was a friend of mine also. And that's a story for another day. If you're a Facebook person, I'll be putting it on my Spring Valley Farms Facebook page, the story of the other calf, the calf that ended up reserve. Great story from an inexpensive calf, and all those things. And maybe I'll tell the story on a YouTube video further. But today I want to talk about, you know, finish weights, and we just took a group of steers up, dropped them off here a week or so ago, and they happened to go in a pen right next to the Medina County Fair steers, and our steers look like pipsqueaks. They look like they got nothing to them next to those Medina County Fair steers, and that's okay. Like, it wasn't, you know, it was like, whoa, look at this. I hadn't seen mine against the county fair steer in a long time, so it was shocking, the difference. But yeah, as that friend of mine been sitting around, he keeps telling me, "Oh, the Packers want them at 1,600. The Packers want them at 1,800." And this is I'm by no means making fun of him. And him and I have been kind of arm wrestling back and forth. I keep telling him it's not the Packers that want it. It's the feed yards that want it. The feed yards want them calves to stay there and pay rent as long as they possibly can. And that's what they're going to get at 16, 18. But the thought just occurred to me today too. There's another shot of wisdom from another cow producer that I talked to quite a bit, and he says it's because the Packers do actually want them 16, 1800, and the reason why is because average commercial cattle have to be put to 16, 1800 before the meat's going to be of any quality for them to be able to get it sold. And I hope that's as shocking a statement as it sounds like. The average commercial producer's steer has to be finished to 1,800 pounds before it's going to have enough fat in it to be of any eating quality. That is just a travesty as far as I'm concerned. Our steers are at eating quality at 1,200, 1,300. And if any of you have never thought about it or seen it, I guess maybe I'll put a little more perspective in it. There was a steer won our county fair a couple years ago. It was 1,400 pounds. And a guy who has been in the show world forever and ever and ever said to me, "So that's a garbage can steer." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, 300 or 400 pounds of that son of a bitch is going to go in the garbage can. And that's the truth. 1,300 and above, those steers, there's a whole lot of fat there, and it's not going to go in the garbage can. It's going to go and get sold to McDonald's to mix with New Zealand dairy beef and be sold as a consistent hamburger across the nation and across the world. So it's not going to be thrown away. But what I'm saying is the average steer can't make it to a quality cut and yield grade without having a ton of fat put on the outside of it. They just will not marble. They will not be of an eating quality, and that needs to change. It's a shame that we can't get the general cow populace educated enough to figure out that what they're doing is wrong. And I've heard maybe 3, 4, 5 times from people over there, people I just talked to in passing. "Oh, you can't finish." And I'm not even bringing it up. They're bringing it up themselves because they're scared. They're scared of grass-fed producers. I'll maintain that forever. I don't typically argue with people that want to argue the organic versus non-organic, or the grass finished versus non-grass or grain finished. I don't argue with them. It's not worth it. We're all in the same business. We're just marketing and growing our product in a different way, and that's perfectly fine. There are only 2% of us that are farming or less. There are more people incarcerated in local prisons today that can vote versus us farmers. So we cannot afford to be fractured. But I'll maintain that the grain finished guys and the conventional guys, they're afraid of organic folks. The grain finished guys are afraid of grass folks because we're taking up their market share. And as well, they maybe should, I guess, be concerned about it. And I know there's a lot of those guys over there yesterday would have fallen over if they'd have realized that Hereford heifer we showed was all grass. The only thing that she's had supplement wise is this week of the fair, she's been getting alfalfa pellets with molasses drizzled on top of them, because everybody else is feeding something in a pan. And if we're not feeding something in a pan, then we'll get turned in. Other than that, I had both judges said she had the proper amount of fat for being ready to breed as a heifer. So, and that means she's too fat, honestly, in the cow world. So just think about that it's not just, and it is quality grass, don't get me wrong. I mean, we've got good quality grass. We need better quality grass, but we've got good quality grass here at the farm. It's also genetic too. There's a genetic component to this. We have to be getting both of them right to get a good quality steer. But as we move into marketing, as we as producers, and this is our kind of maybe our hook, we don't need to finish the steer to 1,200, 1,300. We can finish one to 1,100 and it'll be a decent quality eating, or 1,200 probably is more proper. Our customers don't want a ribeye that covers the entire plate. They want a ribeye that's going to still leave room for vegetables and potatoes. So a smaller carcass steer is okay for us. But we also don't have McDonald's standing in line to buy our throwaway fat. So it costs money to put fat on, it costs money to take fat away. And if we're not selling it to McDonald's, then that's just a waste. It's a waste product. So we don't need or don't want to get them over finished, and we need to normalize the difference between the two and what we're doing. But just the take home message is, you know, the average commercial steer has to be finished to 1,600 pounds to be of any eating quality. We need to get our genetics right as a cow herd, and we need to get our grass and forage right to make this grass finished thing go, and honestly to make this commercial thing go in this country. We could be a whole lot more efficient than we are. With that, I'll say we'll see you next time.